Good morning, everybody. This week we're going to be talking about fractions. I have a problem. My problem is that I love walnuts. The rest of my family, well, most of my family does not. Half like walnuts, half don't. So I need to split my cookie recipe, my chocolate chip cookie recipe, into two, okay? In order to do that, I need to take what it calls for the whole recipe, the servings for a whole recipe, and I need to divide them by two. I need to split them in half. So I have two bowls, 1, 2. And for time's sake, I have already divided the butter and the egg. The recipe calls for 2 sticks of butter and 2 eggs. Well, that's easy, okay? That's a whole recipe, which 1 whole equals 2 sticks of butter and 2 eggs. So in order to divide it by 2 wholes, that's how you write 2 wholes, 2 over 1, okay? That is the same thing as saying 1 whole times a half, okay? So we're going to take this whole recipe and we're going to multiply it. We're going to divide it by 2, which means to divide it by 2, we multiply by a half. We have 2 halves, 1, 2, okay? So we take our 2 eggs, we put an egg in here, an egg in here. We just divided our 2 eggs by 2. We took a stick of butter in here and a stick of butter in here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide another whole, a whole teaspoon, okay? And the whole teaspoon is a half of a teaspoon. How do we know that? Because 1 whole is also equal to, divided by 2 wholes, is equal to a whole times a half. So we're going to have 2 of these, okay? Here's our teaspoon, right here. I think I said tablespoon before, but it's a teaspoon. And we are gonna have half a teaspoon of salt. Here we go. And that goes in with this. And then another half a teaspoon, a half plus a half is a whole. Okay, I actually like my cookies a little more salty, so I might add a little bit later, but we'll be exact for now. All right, and then baking soda. Again, we need a whole teaspoon of baking soda, and we want to split that in half, so it's 2 halves equal a whole. And here is half, and here is half. 1 whole, 2 halves. All right. Now, back to these separate bowls. We have a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 whole teaspoon divided by 2 is half. Oops, that's way too much. That's all right, don't tell. All right, the next thing we need is 3/4 of a cup of sugar and brown sugar. Now, how are we gonna split 3/4 of a cup into 2? We're gonna split that up. Okay, so up here shows us how that works. Okay, here's our 3/4 of a cup. We want to divide it by 2 wholes. 1 whole here, 1 whole here, which is like saying 3/4 times 1 half. Here's a half, here's a half. Okay, so it'll be 3/8. If you see here, here is our 3/4, and now we have to double our parts. Okay, when we multiply by 2, 4 times 2 is 8, we double our parts of our whole. So, when we do that, we then, our numerator, that's the number on the top, is going to be the same. The parts are no different, but the denominator is going to be different, which means the parts will look smaller. Because watch, here are our 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. So each one of these bowls is going to get this much of the sugar, of the 3/4 cup of sugar. We started with 3/4 of a cup, and this bowl is going to get this much, and that bowl is also going to get that much. If we put them together, then one bowl would get this much. That's 3/4. This is 3/4, and this is 3/8. Okay, you understand? Okay, that's so good that you all understand. All right, please email me on Teams if you have questions, because I can easily go over this again with you. So now we're going to do our sugar. So here is our 1/4 of a cup, right here, 1/4 of a cup. And instead of doing 3 in the big bowl, we're going to have to find a way to do 3/8. Now, I know that 1/8 is half of a 1/4, and I do not have an 1/8 measuring cup. So I'm just going to have to do a half of a 1/4, and we'll just see how it goes, because I want 3 of the 8. So here's 1/8. And if it's a little too much sugar, it's okay to be a little bit sweet. Just like you are all, so sweet. Okay, so here's a 1/4. No, I know here's an 1/8. I know 2/8 is a 1/4, so I'll go ahead and show that. So 1. Okay, that's a 1/4. I'm going to put a 1/4 in there. There's a 1/4. Now we need that half. Okay, so here's about an 1/8. That would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8 in this bowl. That bowl is a 1/4, so that means it only has 2/8. And here's another half of a 1/4, which is an 8, and now there's 3/8. Okay, there's 3/8 of sugar in this bowl and this bowl. Okay, if this was one bowl all together, it would be 3/4. Okay, 3/8 plus 3/8 equals 3/4. All right, the next thing we're going to do is the same thing, but with brown sugar. Okay, so we want 3/8. Here is a 1/4, which is 2/8. Pack it in there. There's 2/8. And I'm going to pack it in there. All right. And there's 2/8. Now we want another 1/8, which is a half of a 1/4. And that's about right. And a half of a 1/4. I guess I need to get an 1/8 measuring cup before I do the next lesson on this. And that's about right. Okay, so there we have it. I would like for your assessment, I would like you to please write down what 1 whole is if you divide it by 2. And then I would also like you to please draw a picture to show 1/2. Okay, so you know what a half is. You draw a circle and then you fill in half. What would that look like if you divided that by 2? What do you think? Okay, have fun. Email me on Teams or send me a text if you have any questions. Love you all, miss you all. Have a great Friday, have a good weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Love you, bye.